never give the Ipobs a breathing space. Buhari gave new orders. Instruct the military. Buhari said this during an official visit to Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, on Thursday. The president commended the troops for their loyalty and selfless service to Nigeria. He asked them not to relent in their efforts to bring an end to the existence of the Eastern Security Network and the insurgencies in the region. Your collective efforts have resulted in the relative peace being enjoyed in the region. Under my watch, the armed forces of Nigeria have been provided with a firm strategy and clear sense of direction to safeguard the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country, Buhari said. We should not allow our adversaries the opportunities or breathing space to challenge or undermine our national interest and core values. The defense and security agencies should rest assured of the federal government's unallowed commitment to winning the battle against terror and criminality. I am particularly happy to note the increasing understanding and cooperation within the military, as well as the interagency cooperation in the fight against Boko people and other criminal elements in the southeast and northeast. The outcome of this synergy is evidenced by the success recorded in the ongoing operation, which has so far degraded the insurgents' capability in the Timbuktu Triangle. The president added that his administration is developing a strategy for post-war reconstruction and expressed hope that it will lead to the speedy resettlement of displaced persons and peace in the northeast. He also assured the troops that his administration will sustain its investment in the armed forces. Alongside investments in development and reconstruction, we will sustain our investment in the armed forces in a manner that balances the carrot and stick. He said several interventions by the government have led to the procurement and delivery of large consignment of critical combat enablers, include high caliber weapons and ammunitions. Many have been injected into the theater, and soon other equipment that has just arrived in the country would also be deployed to the theater of operations. Much more equipment will be procured for the armed forces to cater for both the short and long-term requirements. I would like at this point to also commend the hierarchy of armed forces for their strategy foresight in ensuring that some of our critical military equipment are fabricated locally. The repair and maintenance of some of these vital weapons are now being carried out in the country, thereby saving the nation a lot of foreign exchange and also creating jobs for our teeming population. There is no room for complacency and no need to be less than 100% alert at all times. The president said there is still a lot of work to be done to completely restore peace to the southeast and northeast and other parts of the country, and he asked the armed forces to remain steadfast and see this war to a conclusive end. President Muhammad Buhari. Okay. You see, President Muhammad Buhari that you know today is still that same president that ruled then as a military leader. You see, Buhari has a natural hatred for the Igbos. And this hatred has been inside of him right from the period he was a military leader. But we don't know. Our Southeast leaders don't know about this. If you traced his administration when he was a military leader, you will see how Buhari brutalized and massacred the Igbos then when he was a military leader. When he was a military leader, aside from the fact that he was seen as a no-nonsense leader that pay attention to any unnecessary that he discovers in the state, the way Buhari had paid attention to the Igbos, the way Buhari attacked the Igbos when he was a military leader, I tell you, you will marvel. At least that alone would have given you an insight and a reason why you shouldn't have voted him in when he was coming in 2015. I think the Igbos would have paid attention to Buhari's administration when he was a military leader before voting him in 2015. But they never did that. Now he came in for the second term as a civilian president. Now, as a civilian president, he decided to come in to finish what he couldn't finish when he was a military leader. But a lot of Igbos never knew that Buhari never knew the reason why Buhari was coming into power. He had an unfinished job with the Igbos, and that unfinished job is what he actually came in as a civilian president to conclude. And that is why you saw that the moment he came, one of the very first things he did was to proscribe Ipob, because he saw that Ipob is one of the very strong group that is occupying majorly the Igbos and also protecting the interests of the Igbos. So he needs to weaken the Ipob. That is why he quickly proscribed Ipob. My dear viewers, our Igbos, instead of them to look into the strategy that Buhari is trying to make use of and get hold of him immediately, they decide to follow him like a sheep. They decide to follow him like a sheep. And that is why today Buhari has taken charge and control of the Southeast. See, if not for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if not for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I am very sorry to say, Southeast would have been Islamized. Yes, Southeast would have been Islamized. The Northerners would have taken charge and control of the Southeast. The Fulani herdsmen would have covered the whole farms, and our people would have been chased out of their land. You don't know. I am telling you, that is what would have happened. That is one of the number one plan of President Buhari to take over the Southeast and